Hey there friends, how's it going? David Potts with Song Notes here, and today I'm going to talk about the Star Spangled Banner. I'm going to show you how to play it in 5 different keys in open position. Right, so this is going to be a beginner lead guitar lesson, and lead guitar has never been a strong suit of mine. I'm trying to always get better. I'm working on the major scales in open position. I had a lesson on that a couple weeks ago, and what we're doing today is taking those notes in the major scales and applying them to something a bit more lyrically musical, right? And this is a song I'm sure you've heard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And that's great because the sort of grooves are established in your mind. You probably are able to hear this song in your head a lot more than other songs. And that makes for great practice because you kind of have an idea of what the note you're supposed to play next should sound like in all cases, right? So in this video, what I'm going to do is just look at the first line, the first few measures of the Star Spangled Banner in each key, each of those 5 keys, and sort of walk through and point out the things that are similar and consistent between the keys. And when you look at how I've laid out page 1 at the tabs, you can kind of see this. Not only is the rhythm exactly the same, but some of the tabs you're going to notice that the numbers are kind of the same from key to key. It's just you're playing on 1 string thicker or 1 string thinner. So there's a lot of sort of dots we can connect from doing all this. So get all the bonus content for this lesson over at my website. The PDF printout, the backing tracks, the zoomed in videos are all there for you to watch. This will work whether you're on electric or acoustic. Let's dive on in and I'll see you there. Let's go. Okay, so first up, the beginning of the song, right? Now check out these first 6 notes. Tell me if you notice anything, and watch specifically as my left hand plays this. Did you notice how much my hand moved there? Let's do that again. It didn't move at all, which is crazily cool because what it's telling us is that these first 6 notes are all coming from tones, from notes in the C major chord. And just to sort of emphasize this, let's look at the key of G version. Right? Let's strum G to get that context. Same thing there, right? Those first 6 notes are all coming from the G major chord, right? But anyway, this first phrase, da, 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 what it's doing is it's jumping from the 5th degree of the scale to the 3rd to the 1st. Then we go back up, right? 1st, 3rd, 5th. And then this is the root note, the 1 again, right? So we could look at it if we wanted to, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1. If we go by scale degree, right? For G, same thing. Okay, in my practical music theory course, I have these major chords and minor chords written out with their scale degrees or intervals as each note label. And that's a helpful way, in my opinion, to just understand that whenever you play a chord, whether it's a major chord or a minor chord, it's all 1s, 3s, and 5s. The 3 is either a major third or a flat third, which is a difference between a major chord and a minor chord. But that's all we need here. Now, when we get to the key of D, A, and E, things change a little bit. We're still going to deal with the same scale degrees, right? 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1. But we're going to lose out on our left hand having to do nothing. And that has to do with the fact that the D, A, and E chords, we have our root note on the bottom, and then we jump to the 5th. The second note, when we're going from thickest to thinnest strings, in each of those chords is actually a 5th instead of a 3rd, okay? So we're going to have to then add that 3rd manually, right? So for the D, it's going to be like this. Right? This is our 5, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1. For the key of A, it's going to look like this, right? You got our A chord going on. That second note is a 4th string. 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 1. And then the key of E. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. Okay, so that's how you're going to play that opening phrase in each of the keys. Again, it's helpful to see the similarities, but also the differences. Now, let's look at the next part here. We'll go back to the key of C. Da, 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 bum. Okay, this next phrase. Da, 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 bum, bum, bum. Something interesting is happening here. We're going to start off, right, thinnest 2 strings, right? Open, 1st string to 3rd fret to 1st fret. Now, if we go by scale degrees, that's going to be the 3rd, 2nd, 1st, right? 3 blind mice, right? 3, 2, 1. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. Same idea there as all these songs use. 3, 2, 1 as far as the scale degrees. But then we're going to jump down to this 3rd scale degree on the 4th string, okay? And this next note, right? Dawn's early rise guys, this note is a special note, no matter which key we're in. Do you know what this note is? Well, it's not in the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we go a half step above the 4, which is also a half step below the 5, we get this, we're going to call it a sharp fourth here. So this is a note that's not in the C major scale, but it is used in this song. And sometimes songs do that. So in every key, we're going to use that sort of going from the third to the sharp fourth to the fifth. And it creates this nice sort of tension, which immediately is released when we get to that next note. Now, the trick I like to use in each key is to take your chord, right? Understand where your third scale degree is. So for the C, it's going to be that fourth string with my middle finger. So we're going to go from that third degree, go up a whole step to that sharp fourth, and then a half step to that fifth. So, okay, that's how you play it in the key of C. In the key of G, look how similar it is. Even if you look at the tab, you can see that we're going to have that second to fourth to open transition there. So key of G. This is the third degree of the G scale, right? G major scale. And then we go up a whole step to that fourth, which is a sharp fourth as far as the scale degrees go, and then the open fourth string. Okay? Now let's look at the key of D. We're going to go up to the thinnest string. Da, da, da. You ever play a D over F sharp? Well, F sharp is in the D major triad. It's the third degree of the D major scale, right? You can play D8 over F sharp like this. This is an F sharp, just like this is also an F sharp, an octave lower. But this is the F sharp, so we're going to go from, right? Dum, bum, bum. So in context, key of D. All right, key of A and key of E are super similar to the key of D. Look at this in the tab. Notice how we have a bunch of jumps from the 4 to the 1, right? So the key of A. Okay, we're going to end on this fifth degree of the A major scale. And the key of E is the identical same as the key of A for the most part. Everything's just a string thicker. Okay, a lot of fourth and first fret stretches there. So the keys of A and E are a bit trickier to play the Star Spangled Banner, but they're worth practicing because it gives you some practice stretching, it gives your pinky some exercise, and a lot to sort of just get some good reps there, okay? And then finally, there's the last phrase of things. At the twilight's last gleaming. This is just like the first phrase. Look at the key of C. Bum, 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 bum. If you compress those last four notes into a single vertical column, you just get the C major chord, okay? I have a separate lesson sort of recognizing chord shapes within guitar tabs where I talk about reading tabs backwards. And the main idea there is whenever you see tabs like this, I suggest you compress them together and look for recognizable chord shapes because that's going to give you a clue of where your left hand should be positioned, okay? So for that C, that last phrase is just basically all the tones from a C major chord. Same for the G. Twilight's last gleaming. Thickest four strings of the G. Now, the D, the A, and the E. If we look at those, you don't necessarily see the recognizable distinctive chord shapes of the D, A, and E. And that's because of that major third, right? The fourth fret note specifically. Those are not included in the open voicings of those chords. So we have to sort of play them individually. Dum, bum, 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 bum. We're still playing the 1, 1, 5, 3, 1 as far as our scale degrees. That's true in every key. Key of A. Dun, 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 dun. Key of E. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so that's basically the first line of each of the 5 keys I was talking about there. Now, I recommend practicing any of these. Just pick one off if you want to, but if you can work on multiple, even if it's 2, it's going to just really help you sort of cement and gel these concepts that we're talking about here. Now, again, over on my website, I have a full playthrough and a full instructional tutorial teaching you the full Star Spangled Banner for each of these keys. And that's right, I have a backing track for each of these as well. So you can put the backing track on and then play along with the tab and be exactly in time, right? So that's a helpful thing to do. And if you don't want to do the backing track yet, a good starting point is to use this basic metronome kind of drum tracky thing I made. I'll play the key of C like that just to show you how you do that. So you put it on. It's over on my website, songnotes.net. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's no chords here, so you can kind of come in any time, and if you make a mistake, you can stop, wait for the next train to come, and jump on it. Jump. All right, so here we go. Let's do the key of C. 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm going to let a measure pass. Now, one thing I'll say about this metronome, it's not human. It doesn't know that when you play this song, you're supposed to slow down during that last line there. Does that Star Spangled Banner yet wave? Slow down and pause. Deep breath. Over the land of the free and the home of the... That last line is usually played at a much more leisurely, meandering, slow down, milk it kind of vibe, which is great for the song itself. But just know that metronome is robotically going ahead, okay? So that's going to be it for you. I'm going to play this out on my electric guitar, my father-in-law Stratocaster again. I'm really glad to be noodling with this. And again, y'all, you can get this PDF. It is 7 pages. It is amazing. Every page gives you a different key, and page 1 gives you the first line in every key, right? On the last page, I actually link out to a bunch of other lessons I've made on the major scale. And then I have the zoomed in videos and the backing track. It's all available on my website, songnotes.net, and available in addition to all my other lessons. And I have plenty of other courses as well. My beginner chord guide is the most recent one, practical music theory, tons of videos in each of those with print-friendly guides as well. So thanks for watching this far, y'all. I really appreciate it. This has been a super fun thing to play. Later on, a future lesson down the road, I want to do the same song, but show how you can play it up the neck in any sort of scale position. That was what I was going to do for this one, but when I was learning it, I'm like, I'm going to start more simple because I have some practice to do as well when it comes to these major scales. But just in the past day or two, it's been so fun for me to play these, and I appreciate you watching, and head on over to my website, get the good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, my friends, take care, and bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.